Hi there, it's Andy Serkis here, and I am delighted to be able to present to you our trailer for Mowgli, which we finally finished on Friday. So I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into how it was approached, how we made it, little bits of interesting nuggets. I think hopefully you'll enjoy. So the opening shot is of a character called Ran, who is he's the kite, and he is sort of like, if you like, the Greek chorus of our movie. He appears all the way through Mowgli's journey.
I only heard stories about the...
Mowgli, having been brought up by wolves, at a certain point in his teenage years realizes that he is different, that he is other, and that is one of the great themes in our story, is the sense of being other. As he grows and has to assimilate into the world of man, he realizes he's of neither place, that he doesn't fully belong, and has to create his own moral compass, if you like.
I lived in a king's palace, in a cage just like this.
Underneath this, there's, of course, you'll hear the voiceover of Bagheera, which we don't know until this point. We think it could be Mowgli talking about himself. I only heard stories about the jungle, and we believe, and then finally we reveal in the shot at night when Mowgli comes forward in the cage, we reveal the shot of Bagheera, and this is, of course, the great Christian Bale playing Bagheera. And it might just be worth at this point pointing out how we approached the animals. My main concern when I took on this project, the main thing I wanted to do was to create real, truly emotionally connected, believable talking animals. We've seen lots of talking animals over the years, and very successfully in animated movies. But for this story and for this telling, which wanted to feel real and it is a live-action movie, we had to use performance capture, which is obviously a technique which I've used over many, many years in lots of different projects. But this had a particular challenge because, of course, the facial structures are so entirely different. So we went about it by literally taking images of Christian or Benedict or Kate or all the other actors, and then an image of a panther, and then morphing his face gradually over a sequence of shots. Gradually you see Christian becoming more panther-like, and then somewhere along the spectrum you find this absolute sweet spot where you can see the design, where you can see a panther, but you can actually see Christian Bale's facial expressions in that. And that, for me, was one of the biggest crucial points of departure for telling this story was how to make these animals really believable and emotional. So we see then a shot of Mowgli, who is clearly distressed by the fact that he's separated from Bagheera.
Little brother.
The Warner Brothers logo comes up, and then we're introduced to the Bandalog. The Bandalog, or the monkey people as they are known in the book. They are, in our story, a chaotic society. They have no rules, no laws. They don't speak human language, which is what all of the other animals do. We accept that they speak English and speak with human words very fluently. But the monkeys in the story and in the book don't have language in that way. They are seen as a sort of bizarre, orderless. They have no laws. They have no structure in their society. They're completely chaotic, as I say, and they're sort of dangerous in that respect. I'm stopping this now. There is no King Louie in our movie. Sorry, it's very much a Disney invention, and he is not in Rudyard Kipling's book, and so don't expect to see King Louie. The monkeys are in pay and in service to, as we see in these next few shots, where you see Mowgli being treated really badly, dragged, and again going back to Rowan Chand, the young actor who plays Mowgli. He's a phenomenal talent, a really incredible young actor who really went through the mill to play this part. I mean, he had to be this feral child that could run on all fours. So the physical strain on him and what he went through throughout the entire principal photography shooting was quite extraordinary.
You must stay in the village. It will be all right.
And then we jump back to the sort of the more idyllic point of Mowgli's journey, which is the early in the story, where the jungle is this place of wonder, and it's an idyll, and he is with his mentor character Bagheera, who he absolutely adores and is one of his very close animal mentor characters.
I thought I could teach you how to belong.
And this is at the beginning of a big turning point in Mowgli's life, which is a rite of passage called the running. And the running, every young adolescent wolf has to go through to be able to join the night hunt, which is what all the adult wolves do, and to be considered a true member of the pack. And if you fail, then you're an outcast. And Mowgli, of course, having been brought up as a wolf, has to undergo that test. And then we introduce Shere Khan himself, and we introduce him by seeing a clawed paw bent over, and we realise that there is a deformity there and that he is lame. And then the next shot is seeing Shere Khan played brilliantly by Benedict Cumberbatch, very menacingly, very threateningly, but at the same time, you see what he's doing. He's leaning down very menacingly over this young figure of Mowgli. He is the murderer of Mowgli's parents, and he has stated very early on in the story that he will return and taste Mowgli's blood because he believes it's his right. A huge part of our story takes place in the village and in the world of man, and Mowgli trying to discover what it means to be human, and all of their rituals and what they eat and how they clothe themselves. These are all foreign things to him. He doesn't understand it at all. He's just being this being in the jungle, but now there are all these other rules to try and understand and make sense of, and this holy festival is one of them. Baloo is very much a drill sergeant. He's pushing Mowgli harder and harder in order to survive. So he certainly doesn't sing bare necessities. There's by the way, no songs in this one. Not sung by animals anyway. There is some beautiful music in the village, and some wonderful music written by the great Nitin Sawhney, who is a world musician par excellence, and fully understands, being of Indian and English descent. He is fully equipped as a musician to tell this story. His score is quite phenomenal.
When you were a cub.
Wolf Council Rock, which is the ancestral home of the wolves, where we now meet Aquila, played by Peter Mullen, who has such great, wonderful authority, natural authority. And he's very much an egalitarian leader who has a council of wolves, but ultimately he has to make the decisions. And this is very early on. We see Mowgli as a baby and Mowgli being accepted into the pack, this connection that Aquila feels, although he's an upholder of traditional laws and values in the jungle. It's when he sees this young baby that is innocent and yet fearless, he thinks, as he senses that the jungle is changing and that the world of man is encroaching more on the jungle, he believes that somehow Mowgli will play his part in becoming a bridge of peace somehow between the worlds of animal and man.
I looked you in the eye and saw no fear. I believed that one day you would bring peace to the jungle.
And then we see him standing in front of Hathi, who is the old soul of the jungle, the ancient soul, the Gaia-like god of the jungle, if you like, who you'll see is covered in vines and creepers and moss, and it's like he's just been there forever. And he is a loner, and he's worshipped and revered by all the other animals, but they hardly ever see him. But Mowgli comes into contact with him, and there is this accord between them. There's sort of a real sense of understanding, and again, Hathi respects Mowgli for being able to look straight into his eyes.
But you have become a man now, Mowgli.
And then we see Mowgli relating to Mesua, who is his sort of maternal figure in the world of in the village and the world of man. Mesua, played brilliantly by Frida Pinto, who absolutely adored the Jungle Book and grew up with it in India as a child. She was really keen to be involved in this story because it meant so much to her.
I'm not a man, but neither am I a wolf.
I think we can both agree, Mowgli, that you are something that...
One of the most difficult animals to anthropomorphise. The facial structure of Kaa was designed around Cate Blanchett's physiognomy, believe it or not. But we really wanted her to... She is, in our story, she is the... She's like a prophet. She's a seer. She sees the past and the future. She's able to. She witnessed the coming of man, and she witnesses and has a sense of how Mowgli will fulfill his destiny.
Never seen before.
And we get to Mowgli, which is the title of our movie, not the Jungle Book. And we looked at lots of different titles to really kind of find out essentially what our movie was. And it is about Mowgli. This story is a Mowgli-centric story. It's his huge arc, his huge journey, his journey of understanding and discovering his own identity.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? If you want some more Serkis magic, you can watch the Mowgli trailer without interruptions, or you can watch him analyse Caesar's journey from his Planet of the Apes series.